Hello friends and enemies. Welcome to a proper review of the new Cosmic Legion's Grave Knight wave. We've already reviewed, God, the names, I can't remember them. This guy, Novan Lean, I think was his name. We already reviewed him, but it was not our standard review. It was very short. I didn't really get into everything, and that's because we had a lot going on at the time. Spoiler alert, still got a lot going on, but less so. So I can kind of take my time with this one. This is... what? Mbyra Jmgyra. Mbyra Jmgyra? Mbyra Jmgyra. Mbyra Jmgyra. Jury's out on how to pronounce it. I'm gonna say Mbyra, just because that sounds the nicest to me. And it's my toy, so I can do what I want. So this is Cosmic Legion, Savakaltar Book 2, Grave Knight. And she is Novan Lean's kind of co-conspirator, his teammate, I believe. You get a little lore section on this side. It kind of explains what her deal is. She, like Novan Lean, is kind of a torturer slash hunter type person. Apparently extremely vicious, super happy to instill pain. Must be nice having no moral compass, you know? You don't have to worry about a lot of things. You don't have to worry about upsetting people. It's probably harder to get your feelings hurt. So let's go ahead and open her up. I've been excited for her. I really like this thing she's got going on in the back. This scorpion tail head thing. Rusty razor blade of truth. I discussed this a little bit in the Novan Lean review, but this wave is supposedly it has some issues. I didn't see any with Novan Lean. There might be some with her, but that's why we are going to explore it together. I haven't opened this yet. I usually don't watch other reviews for the figure until I've reviewed it, and that way I go in like almost completely blind. I just think it's more fun that way. She's meant to be from kind of a savage tropical planet. They've incorporated some like organic elements into this armor. Not so much in the gauntlets and the boots, but in other parts of the armor, some really swirly natural shapes. Green to kind of evoke nature, and that green looks really good with the orange of her skin. And speaking of her skin, it is translucent. I mean, not fully, but it's not fully opaque either. I really love this whitish kind of underbelly. That extends down to the interior of her thighs too. The figure itself, the paint is clean, but also she's dirty. She's got some smudges and she's got some oily looking bits on her clothing, and that is purposeful. It's especially apparent on her face. It's just, there's a tiny bit of modeling. She looks really scary. Her feet are kind of cute, honestly. I don't know, I just like them. I'm glad they aren't just like regular human feet. And I feel like these were designed specifically to offset this top heaviness you get from this headpiece. You get some extra surface area back here that kind of steadies her a little bit. Otherwise, I think she would just topple over. Now let's talk about this head. Very intricate head sculpt. The face is very humanoid. It's obviously got some insectoid, scorpion kind of elements, but it's still got the two forward-facing eyes, a human nose, human lips. I might have preferred something a little bit less human, maybe a little bit more like this guy. Just something with less apparent human traits, but also it's not my toy line. And I still really like her design, so I'm not going to complain that much. But this scorpion tail head thing is pretty crazy. Not only is there a scorpion tail tip here, but there's kind of one right here in the center. So she's got like a double whammy. She can hit you with this one, and also if you get too close, she can with this one too. She's also got these pinchers, which like, I don't know how that works. Like if something gets real close to her, can she just like grab them with the pinchers and bring it in and just gnaw them on their flesh? I don't know. I don't think these move except to remove the scorpion headpiece. I would have liked if they were a little bit articulated. That would have been so cool, but I understand why they couldn't be. So this has a wire in it, but the wire seems to only like come up to maybe here. You can't really do much with this right here. I think I also would have liked if maybe this had a wire running through it or was more segmented in some way where you could actually kind of articulate it more. I feel like I've got a lot of notes on this figure in a way I didn't have on any of the other figures. But it's just all personal things that I would have liked to have seen, and it doesn't necessarily mean that I dislike the figure at all. I just feel like incorporating those elements would have just pushed it over the edge into something really incredible. Also, she's got a belly button, huh? Placental reproduction in these aliens? Is that what we're going with. I feel like I'm being really critical, but I'm not. I really like this figure. I just am saying things as they come to my mind. It doesn't mean I don't like it. Let's look at the articulation. She's a bit stiff, so I'm going to be careful. I might have to heat her up because she also comes with some extra hands and pauldrons and stuff, and I think she's going to be a little too stiff to put those in without heating her up first. Nice movement on the elbow. Up and down and twist on these holding things hands. Of course she's not going to be able to look up very well. Twist on the torso, but there's some resistance. I really don't want to push it too hard because I feel like it wants to break, but maybe that's just because there's this swell in the sculpt right here and it just doesn't want to go past that. But I'm just going to be careful and not push anything too hard. She keeps wanting to spring back when I do that too. No movement in the lower torso from what I can tell. Leg out. Good leg movement. A little stiff on the knee because this gets in the way. But you get some movement on that cute little foot though. Yeah, I would not want to tangle with this lady. So she comes with this thing. I think it's meant to plug into this port in the back. Maybe it'd be easier if I took her head off. Oh, ow. It was on there real good. It's better to be on there good than loose and wobbling around, you know. But what is the point of this, I wonder? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to go in this port, but it does not want to go. Everything is very stiff. I'm definitely going to have to heat her up. Let's see if the pauldrons will stick in. Same kind of green organic design on these pauldrons. The name of the game with Mythic and Cosmic Legions is pauldrons. They always have pauldrons. Aliens got pauldrons. Elves got pauldrons. Orcs got pauldrons. Bears got pauldrons. Moose got pauldrons. Okay, so I had to do the hot water treatment to get these pauldrons and this plug thing in. Still don't know what that's about. In a lot of other Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions, they don't include anything to plug up that port in the back. So I don't know why they decided to with this one. I mean, it looks neat. It kind of reminds me of like a dragonfly's hump. You know, they have that little hump in between their wings. I'm not an entomologist, so I do not know the correct term for it, but these pauldrons do give me insect wing vibes, especially the way they attach. It really looks like a carapace covering over her wings, and I don't know if that was intentional, but it looks super cool. The only thing about this is, I don't know if her head will fit over all that, right? I mean, I'm afraid it's just going to not want to go. Alright, well, it went, but she's got even less head movement now with all that on. It does look cool though, those pauldrons. It really completes the look. I thought I liked her outfit before, but now I really like it. So let's talk about this here head. She comes with an alternate head, and as you see, the tail piece and the pinchers are missing. That's because I think you need to take this and put it onto here. So just pop that off. I think this might be a little divisive. I think some people are not going to like that you have to switch out the scorpion tail headpiece every time you want to change the heads. But it's also interesting because these heads are sculpted in a way where I don't think you need the scorpion headpiece. Like, if you want her to not have it and be a little bit more even human, you don't need it. I think it takes away a lot from the figure, but it still looks like a complete figure. I mean, you've got this in the back, and that might be a little obvious, but also, who's to say that's just not like part of how her head is shaped, right? So, take this and put it on this calm, relaxed head. Luckily, it's fairly easy to swap it out. But man, with these pauldrons on, her head does not want to go onto her body. There's just so much working against this head right now. You have to make sure you really get it on, or else it'll just be loose and floppy. I will also say that the stinger on the end of this tail, ours is, I think some of it didn't cure right and kind of came out of the mold incomplete. I feel like it should have a little bit more of a point on it. There's kind of a bubble trapped in there, I think. But for all I know, everyone's is like that, and it's not readily obvious. With the calm face on, she looks kind of like nice, doesn't she? She looks like she would bake you cookies. But this head does not look like that. So this is just some supplementary footage filmed after the review, because we have since discovered that she glows in the dark. It's pretty faint, but it is there. She's just got a light peachy orange glow. So she'll also come with 2 weapons. These are weapons we saw in the book 1 wave, this Phyrexian scythe type thing, and this organic, techno-organic laser gun. But of course this is in a different colorway, and I really like it. That blue? What? That's not blue. That's purple. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. My knowledge of colors is the only thing I have. If I lose that, it's over. Purple? This purple against this coppery bronze color is so nice looking. This is a bit more plain, but it's still good. At this point we have so many of these weapons, but I'm not faulting them for reusing things because we went all in on everything so far as Savakaltar goes. So of course we're going to have a lot of these extra weapons. She'll also come with extra hands. She's got some gnarly looking claw hands ready to like claw out someone's eyeballs. And these relaxed, maybe reaching hands. Once again, slightly translucent. I love the lighter shade on the palm and then the darker shade up top. Very delicately sculpted and painted claws. I really like that we get so many like variations of hands for female figures. It's been a while since I've gotten a Hasbro action figure, like a Marvel Legend or something, but I remember one of my big complaints with those figures was that the female figures, especially the ones who use magic, like the characters who are magical, would always come with the same hands, and it drove me crazy. It's always like this, you know, like this magic telekinesis hand, like Scarlet Witch, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Dazzler, like anyone you could think of who does something with their hands, it's always this like female hand right here. And it drove me nuts. Not to get on a tangent, but I just appreciate that we get a wide variety from Four Horsemen. Thank you guys. And last but not least, she'll come with this thing. I believe it's meant to plug into her gauntlet. Like Novenleen got a like a dart gun type thing that plugs into his gauntlet, and maybe she gets this scythe type thing. Ooh, yeah. Only one though. I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you had 2, it might be kind of hard to like use your hands to do stuff. You kind of want one to be freed up. So Mbyra is pretty small and slender. She looks formidable in her own right, but when you pair her next to someone like Novenleen, her partner, she does look pretty small. And that's not a complaint at all. One of the things I've really been loving about the Cosmic Legions line is that so many of the characters look so different from one another, including silhouette and size. They're just all really individual, and a lot of thought was put into the character design. And as we all know, character design is my passion. But that is about it for us today. She was one I had been looking forward to, and she does not disappoint in my opinion. There would be things I would change, things I mentioned like more articulation on the scorpion tail piece, maybe a less humanoid face. But when I start my own very successful toy company, that's what I'll do. But, you know, I understand the articulation for this. That would probably jack up the price and be pretty difficult to incorporate. So I like her. She looks very scary, and that's all I could ask for. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Friends and enemies alike. Likes and subscribes are of course very much appreciated, and comments are more than welcome. I might be slow getting to them, but I get to them eventually. And as always, see you next time.